So potentially the dead period could be extended again. That's TBD. And as a result of the extended dead period, do you see any evaluation days being changed at all during the fall due to so many, due to the extension pretty much?
Yeah, that's a great question. I do believe I've had some coaches already reach out a little bit and ask that, like, should we start maybe working on a different kind of model for the fall? Because right now for Division One, again, for Division One, there's 6 weekends they can go out, Saturday, Sunday only. And then September's a quiet period, et cetera, et cetera. And, the big reason for that initially was coaches would spend so much time recruiting players, and then the minute they start campus in the fall, they're gone again recruiting. So they don't really get a chance to get them acclimated. So now it's been better. There's a lot more on-campus things going on during that time, of course. But I do believe with the extension to June, but more importantly, if it does get extended through July, I do believe will be a big part of helping our coaches create some sort of a proposal to the NCAA. The big word is relief. Everybody's asking for relief. And I think that softball would be, doing some sort of relief for Division I coaches where, either the whole month of August is opened up, or, maybe even August, September, October, November is opened up. So yeah. I do believe there'll be something asked, but you also have to remember that as a college coach, you haven't seen your team since March, and the season ended abruptly, and you haven't been around them, and you have some seniors coming back, you have some seniors that are gone. To me, one of the biggest, probably the biggest issue for coaches, besides kind of getting their team back together and getting that culture going again, is roster management.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a very large team, some teams, some won't. But if you had quite a few seniors coming back and you obviously replace those seniors with a big incoming class, that's a big challenge, especially with a lot of conferences instituting travel roster limitations, things like that. So I think that roster management piece for the next 2, 3, 4 years is a big challenge for Division I coaches.
Yeah. And also the whole budgeting aspect of not just the next year, but seasons to come. It just becomes a really complicated issue. And then you pile on the fact that if football season gets pushed back or altered in any way, how does that impact the financial health of each in one of those institutions? So it just, it's a ripple effect on a ripple effect.
Yeah, and I think, Chez, the good news is there's not a coach in the country that can't make a 20% budget cut for 1 year work.
Yeah.
There's not a coach in the country that can't make a travel roster limitation work. There's not a coach in the country that, if they're told you have to play 10 less games this year, it's not ideal, it's not fun, but they can make it work. What they can't recover from is if their sport is dropped or their program is dropped. And so I try to keep reminding coaches of that all the time. Like, you can do this. When I see Furman drop baseball, when you see Bowling Green drop baseball, you can't recover from that. So just also keeping things in perspective that this too will pass. It may be a 1 year decision, maybe a 2 year decision, but in all hope it should pass. And for the Division II and III schools out there, certainly there'll be some budget cuts, but it's just a different landscape. Division II and III rely more on tuition and retention of students and, that sort of thing, just student population, where Division I does rely a lot on NCAA money, which didn't happen this year because of the Final Four. They rely on ticket revenue, especially the Power 5 schools, to your point of football. They rely on different things, and the staff sizes at Division I schools, especially at the Power 5 level, have exploded. A softball team used to share an athletic trainer with 1 or 2 other sports, and now they may have a dedicated athletic trainer, or they would share a sports information director with 2 or 3 other sports, and now they have a dedicated. I think those things are going to change quite drastically again and go back to a little more, still having the support staff, but maybe not a dedicated support staff just because of the costs involved. And you're only going to see that at the Division I level. You don't see that already at the Division II, Division III levels. They're pretty adequately staffed. So just interesting to think about. But there's no doubt everybody's going to have to tighten their belt. We've had to at the NFCA. There's no doubt. Our sponsors, some of the businesses closed down for a while, so that affects us. Members who maybe want to renew their membership, their school budgets are frozen, so we've got to wait a little bit. So everybody's affected, and if we can all just remember it's hopefully a temporary situation in terms of budget cuts and freezes, and I think we'll be all right. But dropping a sport, that's my biggest concern. And, haven't heard that yet at the Division I level, which is great because with a lot of the other sports, especially on the men's side, you're starting to hear that.
Yeah.